All right. So we got some interesting stuff going on here with migrants. They're emptying entire shopping centers before ICE deports them. What?
New arrest in multiple jewelry store burglaries, all tied to one group of new arrest in multiple jewelry store burglaries, all tied to one group of foreign nationals who might have been involved in other thefts as well.
Police say that they arrested the suspects in the middle of another heist.
So, as America's largest sanctuary state implodes, foreign criminal gangs are pillaging businesses.
Is that LA?
Totally wiping out the prosperity of legal residents who are helpless and cannot stop these criminals. Yet, while this is happening, local activists would rather continue blocking
New York.
freeways and
This has to be
harassing
New York,
federal
right?
agents hoping ICE will leave their state. But as you're about to see, ICE can't do that because their job is far from finished.
They strike in the middle of the night. The surveillance video shows
We can't even play this because too much music.
The hotels housing
the feds are now helping similar crimes.
law enforcement agency that could put a stop to it. And while law-abiding business owners remain helpless on the sidelines, the outrage machine is in full swing, blocking roads and harassing the hotels housing federal employees who may or may not be connected to immigration enforcement. Yet zero people are out there protesting America's formerly open border, which has apparently blessed us with more criminals than we're able to track down and arrest. And even though not every jewelry store robbery is connected to foreign criminals, the fact that foreign criminals have come here specifically to do their thing is incredibly frightening. But what's potentially even more frightening is the people of this once great state look like they care more about criminals than they do law enforcement. And instead of securing their neighborhoods against the real enemies who are out there destroying businesses and stealing away their prosperity, they would rather holler and shout at the good guys who are there to help but aren't allowed to. Even though just the other day they took down a smuggling ring that helped import Iranian national security threats to the very backyards of these activists. And that brings us to the real reason you've got these professional thieves totally ransacking businesses. If you're a criminal, doesn't it make sense to go to a place where criminals are protected? Protected by local activists who are willing to throw themselves at the very federal agents who could be looking for you. On top of that, even if you get arrested, the local jails won't turn.
The Mexican flag thing never fails to make me laugh, bro. You're living in America, you left Mexico, or you've never even been to Mexico, and yet you're flying the flag of a foreign nation. Why not just go there? If you love it that much, just go to Mexico. It's that simple.
Stefan van Ramdorch sent €5.99. Hey Bo, doesn't it get tiring for you to go over the same points for years on end? Don't you wish to expand on other things?
What do you think we're doing right now? Look at what we're talking about. We're not covering those TikTok compilations. That's been long gone.
Local jails won't turn you over to ICE either, and their objective is to release you back into the community without issue, where these criminals get a second opportunity to live out their twisted version of the American dream.
These thieves were good, almost too good, to the point investigators now wondering if this is a group of professionals making the rounds in LA. The burglars cut their way through a wall from the neighboring candy store, a clear sign to the owners they were no amateurs.
Now, these guys were calm, calculated career criminals.
So you've got criminals who learned how to commit crime somewhere else and then brought all of their talents here and are now expending those talents upon legitimate businesses. And the local police that took these guys down have confirmed that their crimes took place not just in America, but in other foreign countries, making these guys international fugitives. Yet for some reason, nobody seems to be upset about.
That's crazy. We didn't track them when they crossed the border because we had no border. Europe's currently dealing with a similar problem like this. And they're just running rampant. So we have crime rings operating in this country, or in the United States, I should say, that are like multinational apparently. And then they got to fill our prisons. Do they get deported, or are we going to have to pay to lock them up? Or are we sending them to El Salvador? Wherever we send them, we still have to pay for it. So it's bleeding our coffers. I'm just saying, look, you really want to fix this issue? Really? You want to get real? Here's how you fix this issue. Very simple. If you're illegal and you commit a crime, your punishment is death. So if you cross the border undetected, then you stayed in this country, you hit someone, you commit DUI, right, or vehicular manslaughter because you're driving under the influence, or you killed somebody, you assaulted some woman in a park, whatever it is that you're part of these organized crime rings, you know what you get? Because we don't want to pay to house you in prison for life or even pay for the plane flight to deport you. You get two choices. You get the electric chair, or you get a shovel and you start to dig ditches somewhere doing hardcore laborious work with a chain tied around your ankle. That's some sort of public works that's going to help make society better. That's how you get to repent for what you did. Yeah. Or you can face the wall. Yeah. Good job. Face the wall. Hey, please, senor. Yeah. Ándale. Face the wall. Face the wall just like that right there. Go ahead. Turn around. Goodbye. Goodbye. We can use them for drone target practice. Just kidding. That's a bit too intense. We're not ready for that level of patriotism yet, nationalism. One day, maybe, though. Gen Z seems to be getting more and more based.
This at all. And as you're about to see, the locals in these places are so busy attacking.
So the point of being that brutal and consequential with breaking the law is that you only have to punish a few and then nobody does it anymore. That's it. So once you tell a few to face the wall and then you show them facing the wall and getting their brain splattered, then everybody else goes, oh shit, I can't have that be me. No thanks. It's not worth committing crimes in this country. That's crazy. But we're soft on crime. We have DAs that are soft on crime. All these prosecutors, dude, are fucking so soft on crime. People are being let out, bonded out with nothing. Just like guy was released, 22 crimes committed, 22 times he got released. Insane.
Law enforcement that they have no idea a criminal underworld is destroying the place they say they care about.
Morning, we're just outside the DoubleTree where we saw protesters get broken up by police moving in. It started off peaceful, and I want to show you what we can see here. Some of the damage. There's graffiti on some of the property here. Again, this started off as peaceful, but into the night.
Telling me that twice.
At one point, a window was broken. Several cars here in the parking lot were damaged around 11 p.m.
Honestly to God, we weren't doing anything wrong. We were just keeping it peaceful, and
I believe you.
They gave us a warning, and we backed off like they said. And out of nowhere, there was like a group of police people just coming out from the left and right, like charging at us. We kind of have like this app that tells us where ICE is gonna be, or protest is gonna be, and we all just look out for each other. It's like it's a big.
Okay, so you have non-peaceful protesters who've drawn an entire town's police force to their location, and they're all coordinating with an app that tells them where ICE might be.
Wow.
And it's ICE who could be out there arresting these foreign fugitives who are destroying the neighborhood these people claim they're protecting. Yet these people are out all night into the wee hours of the morning screaming at hotels and bombing them with fake reviews, apparently, all just to get the federal government out of these places, which I'm sure employ legal immigrants as well. Yet these quote-unquote peaceful protesters who won't stop telling us how peaceful they are, they don't even care if they take down a business, which...
But do you see how multiculturalism has failed? Like, there is no integration. Do you understand that? Do you understand that we do have tribalism and it's based on culture, ethnicity, right? Look, it's right here. You think this guy gives a fuck about America, or he cares about his people? You think he gives a fuck about the American way? Or does he do shit out in the streets, peacefully protesting, peacefully waving foreign countries' flags? Like, it doesn't have to be him necessarily, but come on, man. You think you're going to have a dominant culture, a dominant society that is well-oiled, functioning smoothly, everybody looking out for each other, right? Part of a collective in a multiculturalist society like this, where these people always feel like they're in a box, separated from everybody else. It's them versus everyone else, us versus the world. Nobody knows what it's like to be us, those others over there. It just doesn't work. Do you see why it doesn't work? I don't know. It felt like in the 90s, Obama ruined everything. It felt like in the 90s, we kind of got past that shit and we were all Americans, and it just wasn't so in your fucking face. The tribalism today, the victimization, the everything is your skin color, everything is your ethnicity, all this shit. And motherfuckers are starting to just act so weird, right? So extremist on every side, always ignorant as fuck in the most dumbest way. The communities aren't policing the worst of their own, and it's just causing people to divide further and further. And then society is all woke and fucking weak and shit and tells you, like, close your eyes, bro. Don't believe what you see. These fucking criminals here, it's not always them, but always them. It's not, you know, what's going on here? We just have to love each other, kumbaya, but also, like, they should have preferential rights, and, like, they've been oppressed by history, and, like, you should make space and move aside. Shut the fuck up, dude. Are you American or not? Like, I don't give a shit to hear about your fucking woes. Isn't it insane? We lost something. I feel like, if you look at the graph when all this woke shit started, it started with the downfall of the 99%. Once they infiltrated that was like the last real populist, the real shot that we had against the elite, and they got scared. They're like, oh fuck, you know, these fucking plebs, dude, are getting dangerous. All right, time to you know, turn on the division, and then we have what you see here today, or we've arrived at this point. Fuck, that's crazy. That's why I tell you guys, it's not going to get better. We're going to further segment ourselves. You know, like that white community in Arkansas is going to make their own white community. Blacks are going to make their own black community. They already tried with that one in Georgia. Apparently it's failed, but there will be other attempts. Asians love living with their own. Hispanics love living with their own. It's just cultural differences that make you more at peace, more relatable with people from your own culture. And so people naturally segment themselves in society. That's why we have white neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, Hispanic neighborhoods, Asian neighborhoods, neighborhoods that are even further subdivided in that, like Polish neighborhoods, Italian neighborhoods, Irish neighborhoods, you know, all these neighborhoods. Why? Because that's just how people are. You can't force people to integrate like that. So I think you're going to start seeing, because especially social media is highlighting a bunch of this crazy shit that's happening, the violence. I think you're going to start to see people segmenting themselves, separating themselves. It won't be, what's the word for it? Where people are forced to separate. It's escaping my brain right now. What is it? Segregation. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'll say. It's not segregation. It's just separation. Yeah. Someone said, I'm a black man who hates black neighborhoods. Yeah. I'm a Southerner and I like being with Southerners. Yeah.
How peaceful they are. They don't even care if they take down a business which employs the very community they say they're out there defending.
This time in Glendale, thieves cut their way through the roof to enter this jewelry store. Just like in Simi, these burglars disabled the security system and shut off the cameras.
We did not get a signal that the alarm went off. I don't know why.
Owner Minail Bidrusian thought his business was fortified because he had already added every reasonable form of protection.
I've always asked the alarm company, what else can I do? They're like, just get a shotgun, sit in there. Because I had the alarm system, front, back, cameras, sensors, motions. I don't know what else to do.
The recent rash of flawlessly executed jewelry store burglaries now has the attention of the FBI.
So these jewelry stores are getting totally wiped out, even though the owners are doing everything they possibly can to make sure this doesn't happen. Yet it's still...
And what's ridiculous is once these businesses move out of these high crime areas, they're branded as racist, and it turns into food deserts. It turns into like economic black holes. And then it's called racism because they're all leaving the community. I wonder why, bro.
Happening. And that's the most depressing thing about this. The government is totally on the side of criminals here, which is why the Department of Homeland Security has decided to stop sending criminals they arrest who might be facing charges in a sanctuary city back to that sanctuary city. They know these people are going to get released because these places, in addition to being sanctuaries, they've also got a soft on crime justice system that helps local criminals as well who might even be involved in some of these heists. And while this is all happening, you've got these anti-ICE activists drawing the police away from crimes like this. All these police cars.
Protesters also got word that ICE agents were staying at the embassy suites in Downey after multiple raids in that city. The crowd there playing...
That's why I'm going to Montana, bro. Or North Idaho. Fuck that. I'm out. Or Wyoming. Wyoming is nice, sparsely populated. Pretty beautiful. This is why we voted for borders. Defund all sanctioned areas. Blocking roads and disturbing the peace should not be allowed under any circumstance. This is a plague. This guy says, get them all out. You know none of them have a job. Deport, deport, deport. Citizens would have been in prisons in minutes. Get them out and stop wasting my tax dollars on them now. Jeez. Looting and destroying property is not a legitimate form of protest. It's taking advantage of a situation to commit crimes without consequences. It's disgusting that this is tolerated. California never ceases to amaze me. Arrest these people messing with ICE. Yeah. What in the world? Ridiculous, dude.